So here we are on a mountain of no consequence. But what's the most amazing is on the other side of those mountains is Mendoza, and there is the Andes. On the other side, or really at the top midpoint of that, would be Chile, down to the ocean, Pacific Ocean. Just amazing.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
This is one of the nicest roads we've been on the entire trip.
Yeah,
We're
Argentina has so far been really, and we've come all the way from Salta, so
Yeah.
pretty much all the way up north.
Yep.
And now we're in we're 200 kilometers from Mendoza, but we're heading towards Mendoza. We'll get into Mendoza today.
Yeah.
We're looking at the Andes out there, and oh, it's such a beautiful view. It's crazy. We're in the desert with like snow-capped glacier mountains.
It looks a lot like Death Valley, Nevada, and some parts of Arizona, some parts of Mojave Desert, California right now, except you have the giant Andes with a glacier next to you, but everything besides the Andes, the bushes, everything looks very southwest. And this road is the smoothest, like most straight road we've been on in the whole trip, I think. If Goose wanted to do 80, but he told me he didn't, but if he wanted to do 80, you could do that. We're doing 58 or something like that. So that's kind of his good enough. I don't want to push him.
Yeah. So we're coming off a good month of living out of Goose. This is going to be our first Airbnb, and we're pretty excited about a shower.
Yeah.
And it's been a fun, I think, 4 or 5 days camping with Dan and Mike.
Yeah.
And they're heading to Mendoza too, so we might meet up with them again to do like a wine tasting or something fun. At some point.
The last month has been tons of variety though. You know, we came through that super hot desert. We have been traveling with Tim and Shannon, and anytime we're in a group, including these guys, we just tend to look in the map and you just go to an Overlander spot, and that's fine because you're traveling with people for the company.
Yeah.
But we also had a couple of good weeks of just every night we love going up these random side canyons and going, nope, not that one. Nope,
when you don't have the pressure of someone traveling with you, we just wander and usually end up finding something that we love.
Yeah, my favorite campsites almost of the entire trip have been in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I would never subject someone else to us randomly going up canyons to say, turn around again. No, that one's not good. Yeah. Not pretty enough. But that's what we love doing in the U.S., and that's just what we've been able to do out here. It's so remote. There's just nothing. And then you hit a town, and the town is gorgeous. Yeah. And they're like, there's
super
good
friendly.
local wine. They're super friendly. It's
cheap.
Yeah, Argentina's been pretty cheap, and I had a perception it was really expensive, but I think that Chile is going to be the one that really is expensive.
Yeah.
And hopefully all the protests calm down and things mellow out. But all right, we've been talking a long time. Bye.
3 days later.
So we just got that tire repaired. Hopefully the video I took with my cell phone comes out. The hole was probably that big, which seems small, but that's a pretty giant hole for a tire. Usually it's like a slice or a slit, and you can just shove some plugs in there. This one, I couldn't even get the rock that was in there to shatter and come out. I cracked it in half, but it was so tightly packed in the steel mesh of the tread section of the tire that I couldn't get it to come out. So the guys there had some trouble at the tire repair place. They banged away on it for a while, got it out. So in the US, what a tire shop would do is they'd picture like a mushroom, and they would put the stem of the mushroom from the inside, plugging it, going out, and some vulcanizing rubber and glue or whatever, and it would be pretty much as good as new. Maybe slightly compromised right there, but it would be really tough. What these guys did is he put a patch. It's a big rubber piece like this, big rectangle, put some vulcanizing rubber glue on there. You know, they basically scuff the whole inside of the tire in that area around the hole. Put a small patch over the actual opening just to seal that around there, and then he put on the big patch over the top of that, slap it on from the inside, and it's literally just a big rectangle you've put on the inside of the tire. So I trust it. It's safe now. It's sealed, but I don't trust it for driving quickly, and you shouldn't with just a patch sitting in there.
So we're just going straight but staying to the left.
So yeah, so it's kind of a bummer because I knew if I could get it patched like I'm used to in the US, I would put the tire on and keep using the tread on it and wearing it down. With a literal just patch sitting on it with glue, you don't want that thing spinning at 70 miles an hour. Not that we go that fast, but even 50, 60 miles an hour. It's flexing, and it will rip that patch off of there at high speed, and then you're gonna lose air instantaneously with a hole that big. So it's repaired. The guys were awesome. They were super fast. It's just a bummer that it was sort of a stick-on patch and not a true plug in from the inside out. Sorry, lots going on here. I'm trying
to go across a busy
no idea
street.
when there's going to be an opening to actually go across the street, so I'm back.
That way. You might be
So the
able
guy
to
was
get
super
this
nice
one.
though, and it was 200 Argentinian pesos, so that's like $4, less than $4.
So now we have a spare.
Yeah, so now we have a more trustworthy spare. What we had before was an okay spare anyways, but we'd have to pull over and like bump air into it every 20 minutes or a half an hour, which is annoying. We could put some slime in it. There's no way I could get a plug next to the rocks in there. They were so tightly packed. So
yeah.
Now if the patch fails though, I've got a nice opening of that size that
Now
I
we
can
can
throw
actually
3 or 4
patch it
plugs
again,
in.
yeah.
So either way, improvement. So one of the things we did when we were here is we had to re-up our car insurance. We only bought 30 days when we hit the border because we were in this little border town of Iguazu
We were
Falls.
planning to cross into Chile anyway, so we didn't think we'd be here.
So we were just thinking we're just going to cross Argentina, enjoy it while we're here, but we'll see more of it when we come north. Then Chile starts melting down, and we've only got 30 days of insurance. So we find that same insurance company, they have an office here, and we went and talked to them. And they said, well, let's see what we can find on your policy and all that. And we had left our vehicle title, we think. We cannot find our title. We have a little folio. It is always in there. As soon as somebody looks at it, we always put it back. The only thing I can think is that at the insurance company was the last time we had it out, I had a color copy from home, and then I had the original. And then I must have gotten up and just seen this pretty good color copy and gone, there's the title, there's this, and we leave. And I think I left the original there, which really sucks.
Yeah.
You can't enter a new country without the vehicle title. They're going to want it, and they're going to want the original. So we asked them if they could call this insurance agent and see if he had the title.
We couldn't find any contact. Like, we looked up the place on the internet, couldn't find any number
his
or
office doesn't
contact
show up. It was
information.
one guy in a little room, and then he had the signs of like 3 different insurance companies. So really,
Looked
he's
very professional.
Yeah, he's an agent, not a actual representative of the insurance company, right? They get back to us, or we come back the following day. Did you get a hold of him? And he says, he's not a real agent. This isn't a real policy, and your policy number is invalid. You don't have any insurance from us or from anybody. Shoot, okay. They also told us they don't do foreign vehicles. So on top of all that, they don't even do insurance for a foreign vehicle like ours.
And the ladies were so sweet. They were
So
like, I'm
sweet.
sorry, I hope you don't think this is what Argentina is like. And like, they were really worried that we didn't have insurance. Luckily, we had gotten other insurance. So
another place in town here,
we did have
Triumfo
it.
and Allianz. But we just told them there's no big deal. This stuff, insurance fraud and agents not filing policies and just pocketing the cash happens in the U.S. too and everywhere. But so that was unfortunate, but we got it handled. We have insurance. But the bummer is this guy who may have the title, unless it comes up somewhere in the car, he doesn't exist essentially. So we're working on getting a new title. We're going to see if my parents are able to order it through the mail.
Yeah.
I think we've got everything sorted, but it's just been the busiest week. And we've walked around. We did a couple days of walking around. But even on those days, before walking and after walking, we were working, whether it was posting things, writing articles, doing the consulting, making videos. It's been crazy.
It's hard when you don't have Wi-Fi or connectivity. There's the show. For a while. and then you get
then you
it.
get it, yeah, you
and
don't
there's
feel-
so much to do, and so much to look up, and so much work that can be done that
Yeah.
you just essentially almost could spend a week just doing internet stuff. Now we're gonna eat and then leave town.
Yes, let's get out of here.
So we headed into the mountains just northwest of Mendoza. There was plenty of space to explore out here, and we found lots of random abandoned mines, like this one.
Don't know how the audio will be on this thing. It's not very good, but this is amazing. This is like a Death Valley. We've said that a lot, I feel like. But the mines especially. I mean, it's just amazing. No tire tracks anywhere around here. On the main road, there's dirt bike and quad tracks and trucks as well, 4x4s. But as soon as you leave it, it's like nobody really explores these side trails very often. It's awesome. I love that. When you're already remote enough that most people in their truck or dirt bike think, I don't really want to go any more remote. This main track is good enough. That's kind of when you know you're going to get to see stuff not too many people see. And that's when you're going to see more leftover bits of mining like that haven't been broken, you know, or vandalized or whatever.
Colors on that mountain just look absolutely fake. It's purple and blue and white and all sorts of colors. Amazing. What do you think of those colors?
Beautiful.
That is amazing. And after a while, we made camp right here. For some reason, this little spot just felt right. After a whirlwind week of work and errands in Mendoza, this was exactly where we wanted to be, away from any hustle and bustle with no service.
What you got there?
Just rocks.
Yeah.
They're all so pretty. Look at this. Like, so geometric.
Yeah,
So cool.
that is really cool. All of them are pretty neat.
Reds, we've got like sparkly almost purples that are like shimmery. Yellows. Cool like designs all throughout them. It's really pretty. There's so many different colors.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep them all and make things out of them. It really was pretty here. It wasn't the most epic spot we have ever camped, but it was warm in the daytime, cool at night, and it just felt like home. So we settled in a bit, and over the next couple of days, just tried to relax, slow down, and take care of ourselves. Alright, this is our camp for tonight, just kind of in a wash. Really pretty, they call it the 7-color mountains that are back there, which you can't really see from here. But I think we're gonna have a fire, cook some steak, and just enjoy a nice, cool, quiet place.
We don't have steaks that often. I think finally now we're in Argentina, but we're in some bigger towns. We just left Mendoza, so you can get cuts of beef that actually look really good. In some of the small towns, the cuts are, you know, they ship off the good cuts of meat, and so we just haven't been having that much meat. So what we did is just salt, pepper, oh, first some olive oil just to help it stick to it and give it a little coating. Olive oil all over it, and then salt, pepper, and then this sort of like red pepper you put on your pizza, but a little more grainy than that because it's got bits of the peppers in it and everything. And it's not quite as hot as that, but it's the hottest thing we've been able to find down here. So kind of being starved of hot things, we're stoked on anything spicy. So yeah, basic meat. And then what we've been doing is we'll just end up sharing a steak that size. So in the US, I mean, easily either of us will take that down. And I think it's one, a cost thing, and two, we just feel a little bit healthier. It's not like we're out running 10 miles and riding our mountain bikes all over the place each day. So it's kind of nice to not have quite as much meat. And then one of the random Malbecs from Mendoza. Haven't been to this winery yet, but we liked Malbecs before we left on the trip. It was our favorite. So it's just ridiculous to be down here now. This one, I don't remember the exact price. I kind of got a whole selection. But down here, you know, in the US, they say, if you read articles about wine, like $9 to $14 bottles of wine, you're going to be all right. It's going to be decent. Cheaper than $10, $9, $10, and it's going to be kind of swill, kind of fruit juice with alcohol in it, maybe give you a headache. Down here, because you're where it's being made, we're somewhere between $3 and $6. $6 bottle of wine is like a $20 bottle of wine in the US, and like a $3 bottle of wine is a $9 bottle of wine in the US, something like that. So it's so cheap that you're able to spend suspiciously little and get good wine. So hopefully this one's all right. I have no idea if this is one of the $3 bottles or one I spent a couple bucks more on.
Living out of a truck, constantly moving, and still dealing with all the normal life stuff. Trying to build a business, create content, and take this crazy adventure we're on in can be hard. I guess what I'm saying is it's not all sunshine and roses. And times like this keep me going. Let me recharge and inspire me to continue. If I could sum up how I was feeling here in a word, it would be content. Contentedness is hard to find, and for me it ebbs and flows. One thing is for sure in our busy world where we are constantly bombarded with what we need, being successful, keeping up with the Joneses, all the trends in technology, thinking if we only have this or that, our lives will be better. It's a struggle to feel content. For me, one place I feel truly content is when I'm disconnected from society. All those wants and anxieties just melt away and are soon forgotten. My mind is left with what's real, what is now, and it turns out I'm pretty content. Even without all the things that society tells me I should want.
Went on this boat that he'd never seen before, and we checked everything out, and he said, okay. And then me and actually two other guys from the race crew. Okay. So there's four of us, and we just had like a boys' sail. You know, flying a boat's not going to be a very emotional decision.
Oh, yeah.
You want to feel excited. Yeah. And Brad's kind of the...
What do we got in the foil down there?
We got some potatoes, garlic, onions, a little bit of Parmesan, thyme, rosemary, salt, pepper. Delicious.
What, are you the opposite or are you the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I look at everything like 10 times, and then I'm like, should I buy it or should I not buy it? Like, will I use it or will I not use it? I think I overthink things a lot.
Okay, it's ready and it's starting to rain just a little bit.
It is. So, first things first, let's unravel this.
You might want to turn it. Oh no, that is it.
Yeah, I flipped it. Let's see.
It smells so good.
Oh, so good. Actually, the foil, being aluminum, gets rid of heat so fast, it's kind of nice. I can touch it. The potatoes are hot, but the foil is not. Oh, yeah.
You're done enough?
Yeah, I think so.
12 seconds later.
It's like the nicest storm ever, but it's hailing.
Yeah. Love it. They're like snowy hail.
Yeah.
So they're hard. They kind of hurt, but not like bad. I do think I'm going to sit under here, though. I don't want to get pinged in the eye with one.
Yeah. The sunny hailstorm.
Yeah. So cool.
How was dinner?
It was delicious.
So good.
It was just nice. That's like a meal we'd have in Baja. Well, in the U.S. or in Baja. And we haven't done that in so long. The piece of meat was good. There's so much wood around. Yeah, it's perfect.
Tim even decided to go out and explore the nearby hills.
We are up sort of in the foothills of the Andes. They're just over this mountain ahead of me here. I'm hoping to get a good view of them. Back behind me you can see the mountain in 7 colors. As I get higher you'll probably be able to see it a little bit better. There's a more colorful part of it. But in addition to staying still for a couple days in the same spot, doing a hike like this, I realize it's just about the only alone time Kelsey and I have. I mean, we'll listen to a podcast while we're driving, but we're always pausing it and discussing it and talking about it, which I love. But you do realize that you haven't had any time truly alone. In the US, I'd ride my mountain bike almost every day, certainly at least 3 or 4 days a week, and that would be my alone time. Even if Kelsey and I were riding together, or we'd go out riding our dirt bikes meaning motorcycles, mountain bikes meaning pedal bikes, it still sort of counts as alone time because doing either of those activities requires so much concentration that you're essentially alone. You're not really talking to each other. You're off in your own head, trying to make sure, one, you don't fall, and oddly, two, you somehow have time to think because there's nothing else going on besides don't fall, don't crash, and your mind sort of shakes loose thoughts that maybe have been almost coalescing, but maybe not quite in your normal busy life. So these little hikes like this are kind of the mountain bike ride or the dirt bike ride for me. Sorry, thought I saw a snake. So here we are on a mountain of no consequence, overlooking Goose down there in the valley. Might not even be able to pick them out, I'm not sure. Beyond it, directly in line down that same wash, you can see the mountain of 7 colors, part of it anyways. A little bit more of it over here. But what's the most amazing is on the other side of those mountains is Mendoza, and I wouldn't say fertile, but there's a lot of water. There's tons of vineyards. And then there is the Andes. On the other side, or really at the top midpoint of that, would be Chile, down to the ocean, Pacific Ocean. Just amazing. Heading back down, there's my high point over there. That's where I was looking around at the Andes and everything. Slowly making my way back down towards Goose, which is right over there.
If you're a patron or YouTube channel member, you can check out the full video of Tim's hike. He shares more about what we struggle with and how we balance life on the road. So head on over to patreon.com or click the join button below if you want to check that out. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you can all find some contentedness as we enter this crazy holiday season. Join us next week as we stumble upon a cool vintage motorcycle meetup. Until then, happy trails.